Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Masters of the Night's kind of been a divisive game since it's been released. Now, I kind of wavered on getting this one on Kickstarter or not. I did like the motif of it. I like the black and white look of it. The vampire thing was something a little bit unique. You don't see that a whole lot anymore, but I wasn't really sure about the game. What kind of sold me on it was the cooperative nature on it. Now, there is a modular board, which is kind of cool because every time you play, it's a little bit different. And I do like the different powers of the vampires that you're playing. And this one does take a unique look at it. Instead of running from vampires, you are the vampires, and you're trying to hide, and you're, sucking the blood and stuff like that, where you want to do it in secret, but everybody has to dispose of enough people to win the game, because everybody has to get their own sigil out, and you have to dispose of a number of people. So it's not just like one person can be the attacker. You all kind of do it, and there's things on the board to manage. It's very much in a pandemic thing, like the board's going to do something bad, and then you're going to act, and you have to clean it up, which isn't the goal of the game. So cleaning it up takes away from the goal, and that's kind of what you're doing here. Very simple. But I do like the motif. I do like the game. I've played it solo. I played it cooperatively. I really enjoy this one. It's really fun. Is it my best cooperative game? Probably not. But it is one that I like with a unique theme that I did enjoy. I did enjoy the vampire thing. I did like being the vampires instead of being always being the good guys running from them. So that's kind of unique in that. I had a good time with it. The expansion wasn't, I did a review of that. Maybe that wasn't needed as much, but I did like the base core game. If you could find this at a good price, I think this might be one that's slipping under the radar, and a game that I really, really enjoyed. I like a lot of aspects of this one. It had interesting decisions. And what I liked about it was you can kind of see how the board is going to fight back. So it's not just like a random card. Tortiga got another disease on it, and I kind of knew that was coming, but I wasn't sure. This one you really know, and you can set the board up so the board kind of fights back, but you need to manage that, and I can control a little bit of what's bad going to happen to us, and I like that aspect of that planning that's going to be coming out. The characters were neat. I like the different aspects of it. So this one was really kind of a hidden gem for me, and this is one that I'll probably continue to recommend down the line. I won't ever say like, hey, this is the best game in the world, but very solid, very under the radar, and what I think you definitely need to check out. Masters of the Night, definitely a keeper for me. Here's Masters of the Night. I like this cover quite a bit. I think it's really creepy. You can see Laszlo there with a cigar. I think it's really, really, really cool looking. When you open up, you can get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. And you're going to get some components here. You're going to have trackers for the number of players here. It will tell you how many agents will come out through the city. And it kind of looks like a newspaper. I think it's very, very cool. You have some regular six-sided dice, but they're red for blood, of course. And you're going to get some cardboard blood that you would have here. Okay? You're going to have some tokens that you'll have for the different characters. You can see here. They're double-sided. And you're going to have your minions and agents. Now, all the minions come male and female on each side. So you can have those. And then the tokens for the agents will be double-sided based on whether they're hidden or not. So that's a pretty good little mechanism there. You're going to get a stack of cards. And the cards are cool. They look like newspapers. And these will be relics you can get. You can see the artwork is fantastic in this game. And then the event cards, they have a grid on the map so you can tell where people come out and a little bit of something that will happen. So these cards are very good quality. They could have had a linen finish on them. They're okay. Going to get a advertisement book. You're going to have your different characters. You're going to have Istvan, Laszlo, Imri, Navina, Agneziska, Mila, and so you have enough there. You're going to have a whole bunch of locations. You'll have 9 to make up. If you get the expansion, you can have some more. And they all do different things on the board. Very nice they're going to have there. You're going to have your sigils for each of the characters with the powers listed on them, which are very nice. And here you're going to have your turn markers and your little trackers that you're going to have. And mine has these miniatures in it. I think these were part of the Kickstarter, if you will. So I'll showcase these to you and kind of just show you what they look like. Now, these are not your CMON miniatures with great details. These are like nice miniatures. They're nice, but these aren't going to be the best miniatures you've ever seen in your life, but they do the job here. And I'll be very honest, these miniatures aren't really needed. The tokens were just fine. They're not as useless as the Kickstarter exclusive agent ones you have that really aren't user-friendly, these at least pop from the table a little bit if you like this sort of thing. But to be very honest, the components of the tokens were just fine for this game, and I'm somebody who likes minions. But the components are very, very good. I like the art style in this game. I like how the eyes kind of pop on everybody. I like it quite a bit. Good job. So here's the rule book. You can see a picture of the start. You're going to have components over here with no pictures of it, which is kind of a bummer. But then you will have it on this side. I'll go through all of the components that you have in the game, get you familiar with. You got a picture of setup, everything you need to do here. And depending on how many people you have, they have recommendations. You're going to go through playing the game. And really, the best way to learn this game is set the game up and start playing. Because the whole day phase is just going to happen to you. This is the board going. So instead of you doing stuff and the board attacking, the board's going to attack, and then you're going to do stuff. And then you're going to go through the night phase here of all the different actions you have. Now, when the game starts, you only have 4 or 5 actions you do. And as you gain more kills, you're going to be able to utilize more of the actions. So really, you don't need to start out here. Just learn these 4 or 5 and go. I like to learn like that. It makes it a lot easier for me. And then victory and defeat over here. Then they're going to show you how to do combat. Combat is very easy. It's very unique. It's very good in this game. It's one of the best combat systems I've seen in a long time, and very simple. We'll do a drain, relic cards, character selection tips. You know, this probably should have been at the beginning and not the end because it's like you're easy to miss this. And then FAQ, and you got your index back here, which is really good. A player aid could have been nice here instead of credits. Okay. But I found this rulebook to be very good. It did have a lot of problems when we were playing. We were able to smooth right through this and had a great time with it. I want to take a moment just to explain the player board and how this will work. So you'll start out with something like this, and this will be my character. As I kill agents on the board, I will move this down for each person that I kill. As I move down, I'm able to get more powers most of the time. So when the game starts, these are my possible actions. A move, expose, fight, recruit, or use an effect, or demon summoning, which is my special power. You have a special power you can always use for blood, and one you can use to move down the track. But as I kill, now I can do a hunt, then I can get a relic, and as you go all the way down to the end, you can do your sigil, which you're going to need to do in order to win the game. So it's kind of cool how you level up as you go, but that's how the player A is used. So this is going to be the turn track. You're going to pick it based on number of players. These are double-sided, and there's quite a few in the game. So if a 4-player game, this is what you would have. And you would start this out here. And as this track goes down, you will be able to get into danger over here. Because all the way down, then you lose the game. So you want to try to keep it up as much as possible. Now, what you're going to have here is how many vampires will be coming out on the board. So when you play an event card, it will tell you where you put vampires out. So the red, this will be your 9-tile grid, which I'll show you in a minute. But the red one will put 2 out, or 2 depending on which side of the board you're on. But the blue ones you see here, when you're in this stage, you're only putting 1 out for each blue, and this one you put 2 out. So as this goes down, more of the agents are going to come on the board. So that's kind of how this works. Tells you how many agents are in the game, and you will just use this based on the number of players that you're playing with. So this is the game board you're going to have up, and it's going to be, these are just tiles that you're putting down, so you can change this up every time you play. It can be random or whatever you want to do. You're going to have a vampire on the board that will represent you, and one for each of the people that will be playing in the game, for example. During the game, so what you're going to do first is you're going to activate any of the ones that have the day, the sun on it. So there's going to be a day phase and a night phase. So in day phase, you're going to activate all of the day locations. If there are more minions than agents, you're going to do this. If there are more agents than minions, you're going to do that. And most of these will be a negative thing to you if there are agents on the board. And the agents are represented by these white ones. They can be hidden or exposed. Or you can put these minions out, which will help you. They can be male or female. That has no gameplay effect. So, for example, at the start of the day, if there are more minions than agents in this district, you draw a relic card, which means you just draw a relic card, whoever is the first player, and they get to have this card. And these relic cards will allow you to break the rules, etc. If you're here, it says if there are more agents than minions, move 1 minion from any other district to this asylum. We will do this. Now, when you're going through the sun phase, the day phase, you can activate these in any order that you want. So I could got my relic card, then activated this. But for the most part, if there are more agents, it's going to be bad for you. If there are more minions, maybe something positive will happen. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take over a event card. So it'll be level 1, 2s, and 3s, and based on your difficulty, there'll be a number of these in the deck. And then you will add agents to the board based on this. So like I showed you before, I'd put 2 out, and I'd put 2 agents here. They always come out on the board hidden. And then these other 2 blue locations will get another hidden agent, but just 1 because of where we are at on the game track. So this track down here will utilize that for you. And then you do what it says at the beginning. Add one agent into the asylum. So it just tells you, it may tell you something good or bad or indifferent down here. Add one agent into the asylum. They always, always, always come out hidden. So we're going to put another one in the asylum, and now we have that there. At that point, the day phase is going to end, and we're going to move to the night phase. And this is the night phase is going to be where the players make their decisions and take their actions. In this case, we're going to go around the board and do the things that we want. So for the most part, each vampire is going to get 2 actions they can spend, or 2 action points they can spend, with most actions only utilizing 1. So if you want to move to an adjacent location, that is 1 action. If you are in a location with agents and you wanted to expose them, all of them, that would be an action. So now they went from being hidden to exposed. That means that they're eligible to fight now, because if they're hidden, I don't know who they are. I can't fight them, right? Once they're exposed, I can. Remember, I'm showing you all the actions, but you're only going to be able to do 2 action points a turn. I can fight these guys, and the way that's going to work, there are going to be a number of dice in the game. Now, all of the dice are going to be rolled. So I'm just going to show you some of the dice to kind of show you how it works. So you have these dice here, and they were rolled at the beginning of the game. Now, if I want to fight, I can choose the dice. Now, if I have a 6 or a 5, I immediately kill one of these guys. I just take this die, and it's out. I cannot use this die again till all the die are rolled. Now, with a 3 or 4, I would kill him, but I would lose 1 of my blood. And you're going to start the game out with 4 of these bloods. Now, these bloods will be used for a situation like you just said. I took a little damage from them. But you also have powers. Everybody's going to have a different power, like I showed you on their sheet, that utilizes the blood. If you ever lose all of your blood, then you will become drained. You flip this over, and you can't take any more actions. So, fighting is very easy. You take one of these. If it's a 1 or 2, that you would utilize that die. Remember, say I've already used this 5 and it's gone. It's the only die I got left. I have to use the 1. I'm going to lose a blood, but the agent would actually stay on that location. So 1 or 2s, I'm going to get hurt, and the agent is not. So that's kind of how combat is going to work. Now, combat's a little bit different during the day phase. If there's ever 3 agents in a location and only 1 non-drained vampire, then they're going to fight me. So let's take our example again. Let's say I had something like this, 5, a 4, 2, and a 1 in the dice pool. Well, during the day when I fight, remember at night I was able to choose whatever dice I wanted. Or during the day, I have to utilize the lowest dice. So I'm going to take a little bit more damage in the day because I'm weakened. So that's how that's going to work. Let's go back to the night phase. Another thing I could do is I can recruit a minion. Now, recruiting a minion is going to require 2 actions. So let's say this guy right here wanted to recruit a minion out on this place. He would have to have 2 action points, utilize them both to do so. Another thing I can do is I can do the effect listed on the action. So these ones with the moons usually are going to be activated. So this one says if there's somebody here, let's say this guy was here, spend 2 action points to regain blood up to your maximum, increase your death by 1. So I can increase my blood here. This one says spend 1 AP and use 1 die for the effect matching. So let's say once again this is my pool. I'm like, man, that 1 really stinks being there. I'm going to get out of here. If I go to the city park, it says here if I use a 1 or a 2, I get to increase the track by 1. Remember, we have this track that's going to be going up and down. So I want to increase it, which helps me. I can use that 1 die that was kind of useless to me. So that's another use I have of that die. And then I could also, as I level up, I can hunt, which gives me more blood. I can hold relics. I can use my other powers. So I'll gain some advantages as I level up. But mainly that's what you're going to be doing, is moving around, putting minions on the board, fighting these guys using the dice, and then healing my blood if need be. Now, what do I need to do to win? In order to win, each character needs to put their sigil out. Everybody's going to have a different sigil. So the green player needs to put his out. Everybody's going to need to do that. Now, I can't do that until I kill at least 9 people. I won't have that ability to put that out. If I'm at a location, I have to take a minion off. So let's say during the game, the green ends up here. He wants to put a sigil out. He's killed at least 9 people, which we've been tracking. I would take a minion off the board, and I would put my sigil out. Okay? And now it gives that place a power. When in this district, vampires can exchange relics with any other vampire. And everybody's does something a little bit different. But moving out of this district, vampires do not need to spend AP. So everybody does something a little bit different. Once every player has their sigil out, everybody needs to congregate in one location, and you need to have minions there. Once you have that there, someone can do what's called the initiate blood, and you just say, I'm going to spend action to initiate the blood ritual, and at that point you would win the game. Now, you can lose the game if the track ever gets down to 0. That's one way that you can lose the game. So the people will be moving around, fighting the agents, getting minions on the board in order to win the game and be the vampires of the night or the masters at night. Who should buy this one? I think anyone that's a fan of vampires and you want to play as the vampires versus being, the people running for the vampires. If you like cooperative games, you kind of like this black and white motif with like the red that sticks out. It's very striking, like a Sin City type thing. I like that quite a bit. And if you're looking for a cooperative game, like I play a lot of cooperative games because they can be played solo, they can be played with a group of friends, and I like that nature and that ability to play against the board. I enjoy that quite a bit. This is one I think you should check out. It isn't super duper hard, although it can be. There's ways you can change the difficulty on it. But I think just the core box is a great little package. If you can get this at a good price, it's one I definitely recommend, and it'll be a keeper for us.